Good evening, Tottenham fans. Welcome to the first ever episode of Tottenham Hot Takes, where I'll be collaborating with my friend Nigel from Pure COYS. We're going to be talking about the top topics of the week every single week, and I'm hoping you guys can help us with the debates in the comment section below. Now, today's topics are going to be about Brennan Johnson and his sale to Crystal Palace. Is Romero world class? And what is the cutoff point for Thomas Frank? Nigel, how you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm very well, thank you. Looking forward to this weekly thing that we're going to be doing. And I think we've got some good topics to talk about. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. And I forgot to mention as well, we're soon going to bring on a special guest every week as well. And me and Nigel are going to be hosting it and asking them questions on these hot debates every single week as well. So, and by the way, I'm going to put Nigel's link in the pinned comments below as well. So please go to his channel and subscribe. Brilliant channel. Much more relaxed than I am probably. So yeah, just go to that channel. It's a decent channel. So the first topic today we're going to be speaking about is Brennan Johnson. It's already up on the screen. I was trying to find it. Was it a good idea to sell Brennan Johnson? Nigel, you can go first with this, mate.
Oh, mate, you know what? Yes, I think it was a good time to sell him. I think we've got £35 million. I think his value is only going to decrease. Obviously, with what's happened since then, we will say, was it a good time to sell? My frustration is that it is now 6 days into the window. We were told that Spurs were going to act like a big club. And so far, 6 days in, we've managed to get rid of one of our right wingers. We've now got an injury to another right winger, and there is no sign of a player coming in. There's a post today on Twitter that I saw, and I'll quickly read it. It says, just in, Tottenham Hotspur could step up their plans to sign a forward this month after scans showed Mohamed Kudus's injury is worse than first feared. Could. I mean, I thought we were after a winger anyway. I just feel like Spurs are such a reactive club. We're not a proactive, we react to what happens. So I'm really disappointed, mate. But as for Johnson, I think he had to go. Could we have left it a week? Possibly. But it's just so Spurs, isn't it? That we sell a right winger and then we get an injury literally a couple of days later.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? With Brennan Johnson, we didn't know Kudus was going to get injured, but that mentality that we've got of, oh, we might sign someone now that Kudus is injured. Wait a minute, you haven't replaced Sonny yet, you haven't replaced Brennan Johnson yet, and now you're thinking about bringing someone in because Kudus ain't available. That's not a top mentality. That's not looking after the sporting success, is it? That's just crap mentality for me. And I think, and what you said about Brennan Johnson being sold, I think it was the right thing to do. How many times do we complain that we leave the players too long and we don't sell them and they devalue and we end up leaving them on their last year of the contract or they go for free? Look how long we took to get Ndombele out the door. So we did actually the right thing, in my opinion, but it ended up the wrong thing because we didn't have someone lined up to replace him. Also, now Kudus is injured, and obviously that's not the club's fault, but now we're in a little bit of crisis on that right hand side. So yeah, that was devastating, to be honest. Now the next take is Romero world class? I'll let you go first on this one again, Nigel. Do you think Romero is world class? And we probably have to add into this, is he world class consistently? That's probably the better question.
My answer is really, really simple. No, he's not world class. I think he plays in a world class team for Argentina, and he's part of a good team. Is he a world class player? Absolutely not. I think he is very good on his day. But for me, as a centre half, as a leader, I want my player to be focused and switched on at all times. He switches off at stupid moments. He could be brilliant for 89 minutes. He will switch off for 1 minute and we will concede. He jumps into tackles too much. He is too, listen, I love the aggression, but sometimes he can be over aggressive. It's one of them, isn't it? You can't take the aggression out of the player because then you lose the quality of the player. But for me, just too much, too often, he loses his head. Listen, on his day, he's a very good player, and I'm not saying that I would sell him or that I don't rate him, but is he world class? For me, no.
And I was on, like as you know, on Spurs Kings yesterday, and I said exactly the same thing as what you said. He's not consistent enough to be called world class. I can't remember a season where the whole season he's been good. Maybe his first season, maybe, but other than that, I don't even think he's got Player of the Year for us once. If you can't get Player of the Year for your team, how can you be world class? And the next thing as well, he does stupid decisions. He makes stupid mistakes. He gets sent off for stupid reasons, gets stupid yellow cards. In his defense, I think he gets more yellow cards than others for doing the same thing. Like if he kicks someone, he will get a yellow. If someone else kicked someone, they wouldn't get a yellow. So
Yeah.
in his defense, he gets more because of his reputation, but he still is not consistent enough to be world class. We could probably brand him in the elite level, maybe, but that's not consistent either. I think Van der Ven is a lot more consistent than Romero is. I think you get more of a 7 out of 10 from Van der Ven most weeks, but Romero goes up to a 9 out of 10, then back down to a 6. So he's flip-flops from that to that. So as a captain as well, kicking out at that player after winning the free kick was ludicrous, especially because we already had. Did we already have 10 men at the time as well, didn't we? Yeah. So we already had 10 men. We was getting back into the game. Liverpool were there for the taking, even with 10 men. And as captain, you're kicking out, knowing that you're going to get sent off. I think it's ludicrous. And I think it's not world-class material if you're going to do things like that.
Agreed.
So the third one, I'm going to go first on this one, Nigel, because I'm quite passionate about this one. So the third one is, what is the cutoff point for Thomas Frank? Now, I was speaking about this last night as well, and I just think that we're coming to a crossroads with Thomas Frank now. I do believe this. If we have a poor performance against Bournemouth tomorrow, and then we crash out of the FA Cup on January the 10th, our season is absolutely over. There's no reason to back this manager anymore because there's nothing we can actually go for. People say we're still in the Champions League. Does anybody actually believe we're going to win that? Nobody does, because we won't. The Premier League is over with. Maybe we could fight for a European place if we can get in the top 7, but even that's far stretched at the moment, the way we're playing. And we're playing the teams around us and we're still only getting draws. So imagine when we start playing the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Cities again, the points will drop again and we will drop down the table. I've not seen anything from Thomas Frank to get behind at the moment. That first half against Sunderland, I thought, wow, we may have turned the corner a little bit here. But then it reverted back to type in the second half. And I was like, here we go again, back to this. Maybe that first half against Sunderland was green shoots, but then you've got to look at it another way. Sunderland had 7 players out at the AFCON. They've played twice a week. They're not used to that. They haven't got the squad for that. They had players missing. I think their best centre-back was on the bench. And we dominated them only for one half. If they had their full team, I reckon it would have been a lot different, to be honest. So there's not a lot really to get behind, even in that good half against Sunderland. What do you think, Nigel?
Listen, I very much change my mind on this with every day that passes. One minute I'm like, no, Frank's not the man. The next minute I'm like, well, I do really feel sorry for him, because you did a video the other day which was absolutely brilliant, and you're absolutely bang on. The midfield, that's the main reason why we're struggling so much. We don't create anything. So in that sense, I really feel for Frank. He hasn't got the players to play his way. At the same time, I do expect Frank to get more out of the players that he has. I do expect him to be able to motivate these players to just go out and perform better. For me, he doesn't excite. He's very dour. He's very dull. He's not a player. He's not a manager that I'd run through a wall for. Even the stuff he wears, blind jumpers. It's just something very dull about him, and
You can't knock him for his jumpers, mate.
Yeah, I know. He's just not getting results, is it? And I did a video a couple of weeks ago saying that Frank had 5 games to save his job, and I noted the 5 games with Bournemouth and Villa as the last one. And of course, he won the first game, but since then we've been back to being pretty much awful again. So I agree. I think he has 2 games. I think we lose tomorrow against Bournemouth and go out of the cup. I think he is in a lot of trouble. But at the same time, I do feel for him a little bit, but I don't think he's going to take Tottenham forward.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is with that midfield is his tactics is literally taking the midfield out because he plays long balls over the top, which literally dismisses the midfield straight away. If we are progressing the ball, we're progressing it wide. And then the wide players are hitting the ball long or crossing the ball in. They're literally void. The midfield are not being used. They're only being used to press high, and that's it, or win the ball back or win the duels. They're not there to play. And I think that's a massive mistake because I think most games are won in midfield and we're not really utilising our midfield whatsoever. We've got Archie Gray and Bergvall. I love them, but they're not ready yet. I don't think they're ready to be competing with the likes of Caicedo and Fernandes at Chelsea, and Declan Rice, and they're not ready for that. They should be coming off the bench to rotate with the first choice players that we've put in. They should. And in the next couple of years, they can learn off these players and become the top players that we think that they will be. But at the moment, the midfield is null and void. We're not using the midfield. It's really, it's a really embarrassing stat when I showed Henderson doing 10 progressive passes and our whole team only doing 4. That was embarrassing. So massive change needs to happen in that middle, probably more so than a left winger, because we're not going to get it to our left winger if we carry on with this midfield tactics that Thomas Frank keeps using. So things do really need to change massively.
It does feel like with Frank, as much as when he come in, we were very much like, oh, he's going to adapt. He's tactically really astute. Feels like he has one tactic, and that's get the ball out wide and get the ball in the box. And it's just not the way. It's not the way I want to watch football.
Yeah, I got gaslighted into thinking he was a magician, a tactician, but he's not. He just does long balls. He's no different to when Stoke were playing a few years ago. There's no different to that at the moment. I've not seen anything different. Nothing's changed my mind. I'm hoping that, we're both wrong. We beat Bournemouth tomorrow. We go through in the FA Cup and have a cup run. Then we'll both be happy anyway, and I think most Spurs fans would. That's the end of the show today, everybody. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please subscribe to Pure COYS. I will put the link in the comments pinned up. So go to that channel and have a look. Top channel, top guy. And thank you for watching. And come on, you Spurs.
Spurs.